I believe Atlantis the Royal copied this design. Prove me wrong, fight me. Rental values, I don't believe they're gonna grow as fast as they used to. This is the first kind of sign of that. Hello and welcome to your weekly news dump. My name is Artem, I'm CEO of Akord Properties, and this is your weekly news talking about everything Dubai and especially real estate. Please like this video, subscribe to us, press the bell icon. Let's get into the news. So this week was a little stressful, as usual, a little everything, but it was much colder than usual week, and more on that later on. One of the important things I learned this week is looking through analytics of the video. A lot of people skip this segment, so I'm gonna keep it short. Market's still chuching. I'm still alive. I'm still sleep deprived. Let's get into actual news. So Dubai sees an impressive growth in EVs, right? Electrical vehicles. I mean, it's not bad. In general, it's a good thing. Electric vehicles are incredible dailies, incredible commuter vehicles. My issue is first atrocious AI art in this article. Just absolutely atrocious. It's all broken up. Obviously, you can't use something like that. Oh well. My big issue with Dubai is not enough charging ports, right? Not enough charging points. I come to my office, there's nowhere to charge a car, right? In my MR building, there's 2 chargers. Both are usually taken up by a Land Cruiser. I'm not sure where people charge their cars unless they own a house. So, but good on them if they take this decision and ready to spend the time. On to the next news. This one is interesting. The new hotel, Lana by Dorchester, opened, and the developer is Omniat. And as per usual for Dubai, it's 2 towers. One is hotel, another one is residences. So at this time, it's the second building under Dorchester management in Dubai. The first one is One Palm, and Omniat always delivers really cool product, really cool aspirational stuff, really cool aesthetics as well. And design of this building is absolutely incredible. I believe Atlantis the Royal copied this design. Prove me wrong, fight me. Absolutely stunning. It's in my plans to visit and actually see it in person, but honestly, as far as I'm aware, and I know Omniat as a brand pretty well, it's gonna be spotless, right? And this also means that we are now entering those new generation, new boom deliveries of ultra-luxury developments. Some of them been delivered recently, like Atlantis the Royal. Now Lana the Dorchester also being delivered. There's many more coming up. Honestly, the Sixth Sense is on the Palm by Select Group, who are also incredible luxury developer, is growing very fast, and it's in its later stages of building. So we'll see where this ultra luxury and very high-end market takes us. I honestly very excited for it because nowhere else in the world you see that concentration of ultra luxury apartments, and it's interesting to see what's going to be becoming of that and how the market going to behave, but I'm very optimistic. So yeah, Omniat launched the new Dorchester. Incredible, good on them. They have many more things planned ahead. On to the next news. Getting into our weekly transactions section. $3.1 billion, so pretty solid number. As per usual, doesn't tell you all that much. What really caught my attention this week is $50 million Al Mamzar property sale. Al Mamzar is right next to Deira, and it's part of Deira Islands cluster. And you know what? Deira Islands are growing big and growing in price fast. You will blink on it and you will miss it. It's the next hot thing. It's the last fairly central located beachfront property you can ever acquire. Rix's is already there. Some great golfing announced, some great villas announced, some great new buildings announced. So Mina Rashid and Deira Islands, two sides of the canal, are going to be the craziest performance in the future. This is the ones to get if you want to plan ahead 5, 6, 8 years ahead into your investment. If you want to put money and tie them up for next few years, and you're happy with that, but you're going to get incredible growth, this is the call. And honestly, give it 3-4 months, the Deira Islands will become unachievable as well. They will not going to be cheaper than the Palm. Everything else is pretty common. Nothing very outstanding about this week in transactions except for Al Mamzar apartment. Let me once again reiterate, it's a $50 million apartment sold there, not a land plot. This is not development planned. This already been developed, and somebody wanted an apartment there, right? And it's, as far as I understand, off plan still, right? And far away from completion. So by the time it's delivered, no idea what it's going to cost, but it's not going to be cheap. On to the next news. So next in the news, something more about the property law and the tenants' rights and the landlord rights. It will sound initially, especially to uninitiated, the people who never encountered having to deal with that, as a very minor adjustment. But I would say it's a complete game changer, right? It's the way the eviction notices are dealt with. Law did not change. The interpretation by Dubai courts of the law has been adjusted and reinterpreted. So the way it was, when you serve your tenant an eviction notice, it is attached to you as an owner, to the person who owns it, right? And what that caused, the kind of unexpected externality of this interpretation, is if you have a property which you're trying to vacate and eviction notice is in the process, but you would be also wanting to sell it on. If you sell it on to the next landlord will have to redo it all over again because eviction notice has been attached to you, right? And all the eviction processes would start all over again, right? The wait time, the application time, the court dates, all had to start all over again. The moment the property is sold, all of the eviction stuff scrubbed immediately. Now they interpret the law as the eviction notice is not attached to the owner as much as it's attached to the property itself. What that means now, having those problematic properties where there's eviction notice pending while you're trying to sell it, doesn't mean you need to wait for them to go through to sell it, right? It doesn't cause issues for the next landlord. Let's say the eviction notice has been served and we're just waiting. You can tend to your sale at that moment, right? And just carry on with the sale as nothing happened, right? And that really helps liquidity in the market. It really helps landlord rights, tenant rights. I don't believe it really pushes any tenant rights. From their point of view, nothing changes except for landlord changing. So it's just some paperwork. This will help us a lot because I've seen firsthand a few deals fall apart exactly because of that. Exactly because of issues with eviction notices. And seeing that right now being fixed, because it always felt like unintended consequence. It didn't feel like it was intended by law. And having it fixed now is great news. So a positive piece, and really puts your attention to knowing the local regulations, knowing the local laws, and understanding them, and understanding how they can affect your investment value, your investment liquidity, your ability to enter and exit the market. You'll be amazed how extremely important it is, and how many people did not consider it, did not research it, did not understand that before getting into the market. Luckily, later on, more experienced landlords would learn, and investors would learn to work with those regulations and to plan around them, right? But there's one less regulation to plan around, so incredible news. Big thumbs up to Dubai courts for taking this call. On to the next news. So more news on evictions, really? I'm not planning it ahead. I'm not trying to pick a topic and run with it, but it just kind of happens every time. So eviction notices en masse being sent out according to law to the residents of the gardens. Obviously, it's all owned by a single large landlord. Nahil built it and never sold it, but kept it as rental property as far as I understand. And they're looking to upgrade this area, and they're looking to improve it. Right now, they are in need of repairs. It's a fairly old community. It was built in the wrong time with the wrong intentions in mind. And as Dubai keeps crawling south, those lands become more and more sought after, and they want to upgrade the community to be able to rent it for higher prices, because honestly, it was one of the most affordable places next to the metro station to rent in Dubai. And on one hand, yeah, it's a huge loss for a community. On the other hand, the metro being extended to many new directions, and that's soon going to be replaced by new, more affordable areas where you still can commute without a car. And this area will become a bit more premium, a bit more expensive, and will get refurbished. And I'm really interested to look what's going on there and to look into that, because as you can tell, Dubai develops very fast, and older areas really do not hit the same kind of milestones as the newest areas. And you would think that sometime, if the development speed is going to be at the same pace, we will need to upgrade areas, right? And how it's going to be dealt with, what's going to be done, I can't wait to see what solutions we're going to see from that, how it's going to work. And I believe this is essentially a trial of the first set of solutions they're looking to do further on in Dubai, but we will watch and learn what they do. On to the next news. Funnily enough, we continue to talk about rental markets. What they're talking here is the gap between renewal and new leases is widening. Why is that? Legally, you cannot raise the lease than a certain amount set by DLD, which is usually set, especially in those times, below the actual market growth, which really sometimes eats into the potential income of the landlords. This is, once again, I talked in a previous bit about local laws and how to consider them. That's one of the big issues with long-term renting. This is one of the issues you need to consider and understand. This is one of the risks you're carrying, right? That you're going to have a tenant who's there for a long while. But once again, you can evict, you can not continue the contract, you can refuse to continue the contract if done in due process. Once again, you should know the process, or honestly speaking, your agent who deals with it should know the process, and not all of them do, and a lot of them drop the ball on it. But yeah, that's why we see a huge gap between new leases, which is the market going rate, and old renewals, which are essentially grandfathered in from older price levels, right? And seeing that widening gap means that a lot of movement, a lot of dynamic come into rental market, a lot of fluidity. And we will see how it goes. We will see where it gets us, but I'm pretty sure when those new tenants come onto the market, their memes are not going to be as high as the freshest newest tenants in the same area paying much more. So they would either move areas or will essentially, in the long term, slow down the growth rate of rentals. So rental values, I don't believe they're going to grow as fast as they used to. This is the first kind of sign of that. They will normalize and they will grow at more reasonable pace, because in some areas like Creek, they would grow more than 20% a year. This is unsustainable, and now it gets into more reasonable pace is the only logical solution I see to what's going on. On to the next news. And for the last bit, let me brag a little. I've seen rain. I've seen cloudy weather. It's been kind of chilly lately. Last week was a little cold, and oh god, it feels good. I am a little tired of the heat. I'm actually planning to possibly go somewhere mountainous this winter, towards the end of it, somewhere cold and snowy. Because honestly, you won't believe how good it felt to get some rain in Dubai. I think this year was one of the drier ones as well, so I didn't see much rain this winter. I think it's second time I've seen rain since summer. Once again, if you're tired of rain, especially if you're listening from UK, this is the solution, because I was complaining about rain just as much as you do in UK. This is obviously not very serious, but it's really nice to see some rain. It's surprising how much you kind of celebrate it and how much you forget how to drive in the wet weather. Thank you for making it that far, making it through the whole video. I really value that. That really helps us promote. If you like this video, please leave a like. Yay! If you want to see more, please subscribe. See you in the next one.